I was diagnosed with bowel cancer in October 2020. It started with me keeping a diary earlier in the year. We'd been to Australia for 6 weeks and obviously drinking and eating a little bit differently. And when we came home, it was just the beginning of lockdown. And so life was quite calm and we had the opportunity to get back to normal eating habits, but also notice maybe things that we wouldn't have noticed before. And I realised that my bowel movements had changed and I was getting blood in my stools every now and then. I was emptying my bowels a lot more often. And also when I was wiping, sometimes there was blood there too. So I knew that wasn't right, but I didn't think it was anything sinister. I thought that it would probably be something to do with my diet. But it was enough to make me think, well, maybe I should go to the doctor, but wasn't sure. It was in full pandemic time and going to the doctor was a bit like, only in an emergency. But my best friend and my husband assured me that I should go just to get it checked out, just in case. So I did. And my GP was brilliant, did an examination, didn't find anything, wasn't concerned, but referred me anyway, even though all the questions she asked me, I kind of answered no to. But obviously the diary that I'd been keeping with the blood in my stools, etc., kind of triggered for her, and she referred me to the colorectal department at the Princess of Wales Hospital in Bridgend, which I was really pleased about. And I had an appointment, so that was 14th of August, had blood tests, and I had my first appointment at the hospital on the 22nd of September, so just over a month later. And that consultant, he was fabulous as well, and he did a bit further examination and again wasn't really concerned, but referred me for further testing. And so I then went for a CT colonogram, which showed up as an ulcer in my colon, and they then referred me for a chest CT scan and a flexible sigmoidoscopy. And I'm still at this stage not really thinking it would be anything sinister. I didn't want it to be anything sinister. So I didn't start panicking. I wasn't really upset about anything. I just went along with everything and was happy that they were making, further examinations. And so on the 27th of October, I had chest CT scan, and the 29th of October was the flexible sigmoidoscopy. And it was at that appointment that we learned that I had a tumour. I'd been to all these appointments by myself up until now because it was smack bang in the middle of the pandemic. And at that appointment, I was told that my husband would meet me at reception once I'd had the examination. But I knew something was up. They were trying to get hold of him, which they did, and they said, we've brought him up to come and get you. He's waiting in the reception here. So I knew it was going to be bad news. But still, was like, okay, let's see what this is. And that's when they told me I had a tumour and that I wasn't to worry about it. They were going to take great care of me and I would be operated on within the month. And they told me about the operation and that I would be in hospital for a few days afterwards, possibility of having a stoma, possibility of having chemotherapy, but I wasn't to worry about any of that. Everything would be decided at the surgery. So I was like, okay, kind of, me and my husband looked at each other and we were, wow, okay, wasn't expecting that. But we didn't get angry. I didn't get angry. I just really was reassured that they would take great care of me and get rid of it. And we named the tumour Terry, and a week later we found out he was cancerous. But less than a week later, we were told he was going to be evicted on the 17th of November. So that was it. It was like 2 weeks, well, less than 2 weeks, isolating, getting ready to go into hospital. And it's that point that we told the family and close friends. Everybody was shocked and upset. And I was like, it's okay. It's going to be sorted. I'm a very positive person, and I've always said that if you deal with things in a positive manner, then the outcome will be more positive, and I think I'm testament to that now. If I could say I've had a positive experience with all of this, I have. It's not the nicest thing to have to be told and have to deal with, but you know, I had my operation on the 17th of November. I woke up and the first thing I did was touch my stomach, and my nurse was with me and she said, "It's okay, you haven't got a stoma." And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And I was really lucky because in the Princess of Wales, it's the private ward that was the clean ward, you know, COVID free. So I had my own room en suite. But it was, a traumatic 4 days in hospital, really. You know, my husband couldn't come and visit me. Nobody could come and visit me. But I was well looked after. Everybody has been amazing. And I left the hospital on Saturday, the 21st of November, and started my recovery. It's been a long time coming. I wanted to recover quicker than was going to happen. I think going back 2 weeks later to see my lovely surgeon, to be told all about Terry. He was 2.2 centimetres. They took 27 centimetres of my colon out and restitched it together, and 12 lymph nodes. But I said, okay, brilliant, that's awesome. And he was really pleased with my scar and had a feel around, everything felt great. And I said, okay, so what's next? What's the next treatment? And he said, you don't need any treatment. And I said, what? Nothing? And he said, no chemotherapy, nothing, radiotherapy, nothing. We've got it all. And I was like blown away. And it was really weird because that evening, as much as I was pleased that I wasn't having any further treatment, it worried me. I didn't know anybody who hadn't had any chemotherapy after cancer. But I've learned since that lots of people don't. And I'd heard that lots of people have mop-up chemo, but I questioned why wasn't I having any mop-up chemo. But I've been reassured that it's because they've obviously biopsied the tumour, and with all the genetics and everything, I had to answer a genetics survey, and there was just no need. They're happy that they've got it all. Terry's well and truly booted. So it was first few months of just, adapting to moving a bit slower, but not sitting around doing nothing. Best exercise is walking to heal. And I'm on some Facebook groups that offer support, which at first I was like, I don't know what support I can offer because I haven't been through a lot of what these people have been through, what other people have been through. But actually, I have such a positive story, I have such a positive outcome, that it's nice for people to hear that and give people hope when they first get diagnosed, if it's been diagnosed the same diagnosis as myself. So I've been spending the last year recovering, spending the last 6 months getting involved in really raising awareness and raising funds to raise awareness. And I'm coming up to the anniversary I've just passed the milestone of the anniversary of finding out about the tumour, and going for my first, I had my 6 months bloods in May, and they were all clear, which was awesome, and hoping that the annual bloods, the first anniversary bloods, will be the same. And having a scan as well, that hopefully be clear, and that'll be first year done. But I do struggle a little bit, and I feel a bit, I'm so grateful to my surgeon, to my nurses, to the GP for sending me in the first place, and so grateful that I've had the all clear. But it does make me feel a bit guilty when I'm reading lots of stories and hearing about people who are passing because they haven't been able to fight it. But also it troubles me that people are not finding out early enough that their diagnosis is going undetected, because the symptoms are so similar to lots of other things. So kind of making it a bit of a mission to make sure that more people, make sure that they get referred and get early diagnosis.